Yo, YouTube, what's crackalackajackasmacin? And it's Waffleman with a video. And you know what? I probably should have made this video in the beginning of the month from 2K19, but I've been using my lockdown defender, of course, in multiple games, and I've been playing a lot of arena pro at night, especially with my playmaking shot creating. We've been facing some teams, and teams that are definitely good because we're about 30 or 32-9 right now, so we're facing a lot of good competition, and some of these guys have some interesting teams. And I've noticed that a lot of people may have a lockdown defender, right? But it's actually a sharpshooting defender, which obviously in an arena setting it makes sense. If you want to have a big man and a lockdown defender and you want more spacing on the court, then a sharpshooting defender obviously would be the route to go if you wanted defense and shooting. Me personally, if I'm playing Park, and I play Park most of the time anyways, lockdown defender is going to be just fine because Park is only 3v3 and you still got that corner specialist for some reason, 65-3. But we're going to take, and by the way, small forward or shooting guard is usually the route you want to go, because small forward you get defensive stopper works on power forwards and shooting guards and anybody within 3 inches of your height above and below. So if you're 6'8", then 6'11", people are going to get knocked by defensive stopper, and also people up to 6'5" will be knocked by defensive stopper. So small forward shooting guard is usually the route to go. If you are a sharpshooting defender, however, you might want to be a shooting guard and make that nigga maybe 6'7". So we're gonna see the shooting guard, because maybe a lot of people will actually want to make a shooting guard, because even if you have a pure sharpshooter on your arena team, you'll probably put him at small forward anyways, and either way you'll probably put the lockdown on the point guard. But primary skill defending, secondary skill 3-point shooting. Now look, you only get 1 Hall of Fame badge compared to making him a prime or pure lockdown defender from 7 Hall of Fame badges. And of course, this is the least badges you can get out of everything. Every other secondary skill will give you 2 Hall of Fame badges at least, but 3-point shooting obviously is going to knock everything down. So if you look at the badges you have, only Hall of Fame is quick reflexes. Everything else is gold, defensive stoppers gold, pick dodgers gold, pickpockets gold. And since you're a shooting guard, you only get I believe rim protector. Rim protector is actually, where is it at? I don't even see it. Is rim protector even? Lob city finisher silver, corner special is obviously, you actually get deep range Jedi silver, limitless range silver, catch and shoot silver. So if you have all these badges silver and you're in the corner wide open and you have a good shot, you'll probably be able to make this, because this is kind of cheese that you have corner specialist, catch and shoot, limitless range, deep range Jedi, all silver. So a sharpshooting defender is going to be able to hit those shots. But looking at this list, defensive stopper, pick dodger, pickpocket, chase down artist, I really don't see rim protector. Pickpacking, okay, so maybe you don't get rim protector at shooting guard if you are a sharpshooting defender, which is interesting. And that's kind of interesting because if you guard slashers, the defense is going to be a little bit different. But we're going to move on to the caps and see how we adjust this player, because wingspan and all that stuff is important. But I'm gonna make this guy 6'7", and we're gonna keep on looking at the attributes even time, because you want to be a certain good height. So I think 6'7" for a shooting guard will be all right. And you see the stats right here. Open shot 3 is a 73. Open shot mid is a 74. You go all the way down to vertical 86. Lateral quickness is 88, which is it's still great. Speed is 83. This is the max speed you can get with a 6'7". I'm already at 83 speed right now with my 6'8" lockdown defender. Max strength you can get a 75, and verticals max is 86, which is it's okay. Steal is maxed at an 87. So these are the things you have to take into account. Your max steal will be 87. My max steal is a 99 now. So if you want this type of defense, I mean, you're still going to be a good defender. And if you look at on ball defense, which where is on ball defense at? But if you look at lateral quickness is an 88, so that's basically the defense right there. Shot contest is an 80, block is an 80. So yeah, these are all the defensive stats. Shot contest is an 80. It's all right, man. Like, the biggest things about having a defensive build like this that can also shoot the ball a little bit. Your steal's gonna be still great. Your block and shot contest is gonna be, it's gonna be all right. But I mean, you do have goal defensive stopper. Your lateral quickness is definitely gonna be great. This is definitely a plus for this build, is the lateral quickness, and you're still able to shoot. My lateral quickness is at 92 right now, but this is the max lateral quickness for this build. So you might not have this max lateral quickness for a while with this build. But if we move on, right, and we're probably going to keep the weight the same. We're probably not going to change the weight, but I've seen people like to minimize the weight on the lockdown defender, which I understand because people don't care about strength or box out. Some people are just defending on the court. They don't care about that stuff. So I've seen a lot of people just minimize weight, not all the way obviously to 180, but around 194 to 200 is where they might minimize the weight. So we're going to put them at 200 and look at the caps again. And you're going to see speed actually stays the same. So if you wanted to have extra speed on this build, well, actually speed doesn't even get affected by weight, obviously. But speed's not going to get affected, so the only thing you're really affecting is your lateral quickness, and lateral quickness goes up by 1 point. If you lower this build down to 200, you might decide to lower it down lower. But other than that, it's not really going to be a huge difference. But here's the main difference if you make a build like a sharpshooting defender. Because if you make a slashing defender, obviously you make a max wingspan because not only is he a lockdown, but he's also a slasher. With this build, you have to be careful. Now, the normal wingspan is fine. You don't change the wingspan, your open shot stays the same, 74, which is good. You still got all the silver badges, open shot 3, 73. All that is still good. But you have normal wingspan. And with a build like this, I feel like if you go either way, you're defeating the purpose of this build. Because if you want better shooting and you decide to minimize your wingspan, you're basically nullifying the lockdown defender's ability. And think about it, you already have an 80 shot contest with this build. So if you listen, your shooting is going to be great. Open shot mid for this sharpshooting defender is now at an 80. That's phenomenal. Open shot 3 is a 77. With silver sharpshooting badges, this build is going to be able to shoot. But the question is, how many people are going to make a build like this, sacrificing the defense when this is a defensive build? So your steal goes down to an 84, your shot contest becomes a 73, your block becomes a 73, and the only thing you really have with this build is lateral quickness as a defensive build. Everything else, the steal's alright, 84, but you're not going to be stripping people like that with an 84 steal. Of course, you can add boost, but still, if you look at this, you don't want to make a minimum wingspan sharpshooting defender. Or you might, who knows, maybe you'll find a way to play with this, but I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you're going to play park sometimes. But if you make this max wingspan, you're also really nullifying the defense ability to where your open shot mid is a 69, your open shot 3 is a 69 as well. Of course, you still have sharpshooting badges, and your contested shot is obviously high because you have max wingspan. Your steal's going to be better, 88, which is a little bit, it's surprising because it's only a little bit better. I think it's like 1 point better than normal wingspan. Everything else basically stays. Shot contest definitely goes up by 6, so that's a plus. But like, you're really nullifying the shooting now. So even though you have the sharpshooting badges, now you're nullifying the shooting to where my open shot 3 with my lockdown defender right now, I believe, is a 62. So the difference between the 62 and the 69 is definitely there, but I think my max lockdown shooting stops at like a 65 or a 67 or 69. So it's like, at this point, if you max this wingspan out, you might as well make a pure lockdown. See, that's the difficulty of being or making a sharpshooting defender, because you don't want to mess. That's why you have to check these attribute caps every time you get to one of these checkpoints, because you don't want to make a mistake. And this is why I've always said I don't want to make a sharpshooting defender. Like, I just don't, because you're either losing some on defense or you're not getting enough on offense. So the best route to go is to honestly keep the wingspan the same, whether it was 86.1, I don't know what it was, but it's just to keep the wingspan the same, and these are the attributes you're gonna get. 87 steal, 80 block. Really, the downside of this is the shot contest, because you're gonna need the guard. I mean, you're guarding the point guard anyway, so it's great that you have the best lateral quickness and you could be put into a corner on the arena team. But this is only if you play arena. Like I said, if you play arena and you're playing competitive pro-am, I can see how this build can be used. But if you're only playing park, I wouldn't recommend making these builds, man, because just make a lockdown defender, bro. You're gonna have way more impact if you play park only with a lockdown. You're gonna have the impact in Jordan Rex Center too, and maybe depending on how your pro-am team is configured for the arena, a lockdown defender would also work there, because you know, back in the beginning I used to use my lockdown defender and he used to work. But it all depends on your team's identity. But anyways, man, that's all I have to say about the sharpshooting defender. Leave a like for more. I'm out for now. Peace.